What is going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt the Misfit. This is your WrestleMania 40 Night 1 review and results. This show was up and down. It was fine, but it wasn't the greatest show that I was expecting. Not better than last year's Night 1, I can tell you that. But we'll talk about that much more. Please hit the like button, comment down below, hit the subscribe button, youtube.com/@MisfitWrestlingPodcast. Follow the Twitter, Pile Driver Pulse on the Twitter, @Pile Driver Pulse, obviously. You can find the Instagram account, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, obviously. You can also follow the audio outlets, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, and Audible.com. We had WrestleMania from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Night 1 is in the books. We have 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 new champions crowned, because they did actually really this time split the WWE Tag Team titles. Thank God. We've seen a new Intercontinental Champion being crowned as Sami Zayn ended the 666-day reign of the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, the Ring General Gunther. The Rock and Roman Reigns won their match against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. It will be Bloodline Rules tomorrow night, which means it is over, Roman Reigns fans. It's time to accept reality. It has finally sunk in. Has it finally sunk in for you guys that the idiotic reign of this useless title run at this point is coming to a thank God end? We are going to finally have another world champion on SmackDown weekly going forward. Thank God. But before we go into WrestleMania, because there are some things on the show I liked, some things I didn't like, and some things I just thought were fucking terrible. Like, we'll get to that one match. We'll get to the brother versus brother match. I'll talk to you of how fucking atrocious that shit was. Let's talk about NXT. Yeah, I did say on the Stardom review, which is up on the channel now. You can go to the channel, the Stardom American Dream review that is up on the channel, of course. We're going to go over that here. Well, not Stardom. We're going to go over on what I said there, which is going to be talk of NXT, because I mentioned on that review about Giulia possibly making her WWE debut on this show, and that is in fact what happened, because Giulia did make her NXT debut basically in the crowd. They did the old school NXT in the crowd shot here, which was originally confirmed by Fightful Select that this was going to happen. And I'm going to read the update on Giulia here, because I do want to get some of this out of the way here, as Fightful Select put up a good article here from Corey Brennan from Fightful Select, who does fantastic work when it comes to the NXT stuff. He says, and I quote, "Giulia has been long reported to be on her way to WWE shortly after a short stint in Rossi's new promotion, Rossio Gallo's new promotion." He was there as well. And now Fightful Select has learned about the plans, WWE's plans for the former Stardom name. Fightful Select's Corey Brennan has been told by multiple NXT sources that Giulia will be reporting to the WWE Performance Center and NXT once upon her completion with her remaining dates. That includes the Stardom show that she has coming up next week, and then the Noah show that she's wrestling, and also, of course, of when she's going to do the stuff with Rossio Gallo. Says an immediate main roster debut ruled out. So she won't be immediately come to the main roster like they foolishly did with Jade Cargill. Don't get me started with that. While it's not an issue by any means, this is about her English. It says WWE officials are said to be happy about Giulia's recent progression in learning English. She's doing a fantastic job in her English. One rumor that was commented several months ago were the concerns regarding her being stiff in the ring. So that's this is something that within WWE with multiple sources dismissing, but it's not really a concern according to multiple sources within WWE. Talent and members of the NXT production team believe that Giulia will be present at NXT Stand and Deliver, which she was. And there being talk of a throwback to NXT signings being shown in the crowd, possibly happening at the pay-per-view, but we haven't been able to confirm this. And we find out that did in fact happen. So let me see if I can find any more about Giulia. I believe that's it for now for Giulia, but Giulia is basically Corey Brennan on the Sour Graps show for Fightful. Did come up for the NXT review and had the assumption or is under the impression that Giulia is signed to WWE, has a WWE contract signed. If not, will be signed sometime during the WrestleMania 40 weekend. So all the speculation, all the talk of her not going to WWE, her going to TNA, her going to AEW, she was never going to AEW. Let's just stop that right now. She was going to WWE. That was the only place she was landing. It was the place that had been talked about since November. She had decided that she was heading. She decided she was leaving in November to go to WWE. Regardless of what happened with Rossi Ogawa, because there were some stupid people on the internet with the whole, Rossi Ogawa is a WWE fucking shield or whatever it was they said. I'm like, no. Rossi Ogawa has nothing to do with Giulia coming to WWE. Giulia had no damn, what's the word I'm looking for? Lawyer or whatever. Anybody, handling this contract situation here. Apparently she wanted to do it her own self, and she had already decided right then and there where she was going. The whole thing with Rossi, she didn't care where Rossi was going. Whether she didn't know Rossi was going to be leaving at all. If Rossi had not been fired in February, she'd still be leaving the company. She was going to be heading to WWE regardless. Now, I do think if Rossi had not been fired and she had left anyway, and she had already left by April of this month, she would have, been signed. She is. I'm assuming she's signed now, but we'd be seeing her make her debut or whatever on NXT this week. But that's not going to be the case. We may see. I put out the tweet. I said, "Don't be surprised if Giulia wrestles at Heatwave in Toronto." Giulia was seen in the crowd during the NXT Championship Women's Championship match between Roxanne Perez and Lyra Valkyria, which was a great match, by the way. I'll talk about those matches in a little bit. They did also announce on the show a brand new championship for the women. It's the first WWE mid-card championship for the NXT North American Women. Or is it, what is it announced as? The NXT Women's North American Championship or something? The WWE Women's North American Championship. There's rumored to supposedly be a tournament. I believe this is the first secondary championship for the women. For what I mean like that is it's the first mid-card championship. This is the first secondary championship for the women in NXT. This is technically the third. Let's see. We have the two main titles. That we have the women's tag team titles, and then we have this. So now this is the fourth. But if we take it back, there's 4 women's titles now. Oh no, actually 5 if you want. It's 5 because the NXT women's title. So there is that. So yeah, those are the news side of things here for this, but I'm going to go over the results for this show here, which I thought was a really good show. I mainly was going to watch this show just to see if Giulia was going to show up. I got what I got with her. She came out. She had this look of a little bit of shock, because I don't think she was prepared for the reaction that she was going to get, and she got a massive pop on the show. So where are those fucking idiots that told me for months that, oh, this crowd, they're not going to know who Giulia is? And sure enough, Giulia shows up on the show, and they fucking lost their shit. So I don't see much, hopefully, I don't see much changing with Giulia. I don't think they're going to change her name. I don't think they're going to change the way she looks, their aura. What made her appeal to a lot of fans is the way she is her name, obviously her name, but her the way she looks, her persona, her aura, the way she dresses, her wrestling style will most likely be changed up a bit. But I don't think Giulia has to worry about Michinoku drivers, because we saw Jade Cargill hit one tonight. So I don't think Giulia has to worry about that. But I think Giulia is going to get and I put this out on Twitter as soon as Giulia made her debut, and I said, this woman is going to get the 2016 Oscar push. This woman's about to be a goddamn superstar. If you don't see it, you don't believe me, you're a fucking fool. So, and you guys need to stop dick riding Tony Khan, by the way, this week. That's another thing that's been pissing me off with the AEW shills. They've been dick riding Tony Khan all fucking week. Just because of one comment Triple H made on the Pat McAfee show on Thursday. All because this dude said something about Will Ospreay. They've lost their shit over it, and I basically says, like, so it's okay for AEW to do it on a constantly weekly basis, but when WWE does it once in the blue moon, it's a fucking travesty. Like, it's almost like WWE went out and murdered somebody. Get a fucking life. Get a job. Go outside. Touch grass. Really. Come on now. You've got to be a low fucking pathetic human being to be fucking upset about something like that. I don't give a shit. I don't care what they say with one another. They can take shots at each other all they want. But I don't want people getting petty at each other about it. Harmless shots is fine. Like, for example, the throne thing. It's a harmless fucking shot. Because guess what? WWE. Because Triple H ain't mad about it. Triple H is about to fucking put the world championship on Cody Rhodes tomorrow night. He don't give a shit about that throne smash. Grow the fuck up. But this show was actually very, very good. That being NXT Stand and Deliver. Because of Wade Barrett, I'm sorry, because of Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Pat McAfee calling both nights of WrestleMania, Wade Barrett was on the show doing commentary with Vic Joseph and Corey and Booker T. Like I said, I'm going to go quickly through the results of the show. I didn't get to see Joe Gacy versus Shawn Spears. I'm assuming it was a good match. So there's that. The War Dogs retained the tag team titles, which is an odd choice. Given that Braun Breaker's on SmackDown now, you would have thought that Braun Breaker would have lost the titles here so he can focus on the main roster. But what do I know? One of my favorite matches of the night, not my favorite match of the night, but one of my favorite matches of the night was Oba Femi defending and retaining the NXT North American Championship against Dijak and Josh Briggs. That was a lot of fun. My second favorite match of the night. We also had a 6-woman tag match. Believe it or not, this was actually better than the 6-woman tag match we had tonight on it during WrestleMania. Which I hate saying that about my girls Damage control. Oh man, I'll get to that. But Fallon Henley, Kiana Jordan, Thea Hale with Chase U defeated Izzy Dame, JC Jane, and Kiana James by submission. Gets a big pop here for Thea Hale and all that stuff here. Roxanne Perez, I mentioned this earlier with Giulia. That Giulia was watching on here. Rossio Gal was in the crowd too. He was sent, in between them was a former NXT GM, William Regal. This was my favorite match on the show, that being Roxanne Perez winning the NXT Women's Championship for a second time against Lyra Valkyria. Now, there have been talks about NXT officials being very, very pleased with the Roxanne Perez's current heel gimmick. Her current heel gimmick is fantastic. They do not want to let her go for right now. I don't, for whatever reason here. I was going to be so mad if she had lost this match and she would still remain in NXT. But she's the NXT Women's Champion, and hopefully she has a better run with the title than she did last time, because she didn't even get to have her run with the championship. I don't know whatever it was. They had her have her be stripped of the championship, and then they waited until like the following year to give her back a championship. It was very weird. But I thought it was fine. I'm not the biggest Tony D'Angelo fan, if I'm being completely honest here, but I love Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov retained the NXT championship. So there's that. And Trick Williams defeated Carmella Hayes in a really good match, which is weird that they said, just let them go at it, but referee didn't want the rules to be. This match should have went with a stipulation, but it was whatever it was. It was what it was here. Carmella Hayes is set to be is officially being called up to the main roster, either the Raw or SmackDown after WrestleMania. So there is that. All right, let's get into WrestleMania here. Night one. Like I said, the show had its ups and downs, and his thumbs in the middles here. There's three matches I did really enjoy, like on the show, like really enjoyed, was the opening match, the Intercontinental title match, and for the most part the main event. The main event halfway was getting sus, and then it started picking up. But the show opened with a new intro, a signature intro, which brought me back to a little bit of it. It was like a nod to the 80s a little bit, with Triple H doing the intro, saying then, now, forever, together. Which I thought was pretty cool. So we had the usual. Now Triple H actually switched it up this year with the intro of the show. Now let me tell you what I mean. You know, remember how when Vince was running it, they'd do the intro, the signature intro, then they cut to the live shot of the crowd with America the Beautiful, and then they show the intro. Then they show the opening package. They didn't do that this year. They had the signature intro, the opening package, then cut to America the Beautiful, and then out comes Triple H to go into the beginning of the show, which I thought was pretty cool. Which I thought, again, it's a new era. They're dubbing it the Triple H era. Cody Rhodes call it the Renaissance era. So we'll see what happens here. That'll depend on what happens tomorrow night on night 2. So out comes Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley to start off the festivities here, opening the show with the Women's World Championship match. Match was pretty fun. We found out that Becky Lynch was dealing with strep throat going into this match, so she was sick, which again, kudos to her for going out there and performing in that condition. You couldn't catch me doing that in that condition. I would fucking like just, you know. By the way, the stage, we saw the reel of the stage. It's not that big of a deal. Really, relax. The Prime logo was on the center of the ring. That was something that Logan Paul confirmed that's going to be going on for every pay-per-view going forward. Thank God it wasn't the one that they revealed, because the one that they revealed were fucking terrible. But I never noticed it through the show. They like, it was never not no like it didn't distract me like I thought it was going to. But you know, I grew up in an era where WCW had the sponsors on the ring mat, where, you know, Halloween Havoc had the Slim Jim logos, and I believe Slamboree had, I forgot what they had in the corners there, but they had something there. One year there was maybe Snickers or something. WCW would have the logo at the pay-per-view on the ring mat. So I wasn't too, like, you know, distracted by that. So you guys shouldn't be either. But you know, Becky, Rhea come out there. Rhea looks fantastic. Wearing the wrist arm thing that she told us she wasn't going to wear here. Rhea's getting the babyface treatment here, even though she's the heel. Motionless and White came out to Performers of the Ring, which I thought was pretty cool. Becky had excerpts from her book that I have not read yet. I am looking forward to picking that up or listening to it. I haven't decided which one I'm going to do. I might get it from Audible. I don't know how I'm thinking about it. But I do want to get the book. So I thought that was pretty cool. I know some experts of her book on a ring here, which was pretty cool. But we're going to get through most of this match here. So at one point, Rhea ascends the top rope. Becky pulls her off. Becky then fires off some strikes to Rhea. Rhea sends Becky's head bouncing off her knee, follows it up with a tornado DDT. Becky delivers a leg drop to Rhea through the middle rope, which was pretty cool. Delivers a back exploder into the barricade. Becky gets Rhea back in the ring, sends her to the top rope, delivers her patented a leg drop. I almost said elbow drop. Rhea gets up. Excuse me. Been a long night. Gets Becky on her shoulders, getting ready to do something here. She sends her crashing onto the mat to the outside, bouncing off the apron and all that stuff here. So all that stuff. Later on in the match, Rhea delivers a riptide. Becky goes for the pin. Becky was able to kick out, so that was the first riptide of the match here. Rhea ascends to the top rope. Becky joins her up there. Rhea connects with a superplex to Becky. Becky beautifully transitions into the disarmer, which I thought was a great counter. There's a lot of counters on this show. There was a fantastic counter that I saw in the main event that I cannot wait to get to, and we'll get to that because that was probably the best counter to that move I have ever seen. So Rhea counters an electric chair into a electric chair position. They top out to the ring here. Rhea, it's electric chair onto Becky on the outside of the floor. Becky gets Becky back in the ring, delivers a frog splash for a 2 count. The women teeter on top of the top rope. Becky looks for a manhandle slam off the top rope. Rhea escapes, delivering a riptide onto the top turnbuckle, which is something new I've never seen here. Then was able to hit a third riptide for the win, and Rhea Ripley retains the Women's World Championship. Very good match. Could have been better, though. I'm not going to put that. I'm not going to take points off that because Becky was sick. I think if Becky was feeling a little bit better and wasn't sick, she probably would have had a better match. This was not better than the Charlotte Flair match, but this was a very good match from Rhea Ripley. And again, those naysayers that saying Becky doesn't put anybody over, go fuck yourself on this show. So next we had the 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. The ring announcer, Samantha Irvin, who should get paid extra this weekend because she is going to be doing both nights. Her voice will probably be gone tomorrow. Maybe, we'll see. But they did stress on this show multiple times, and I'm gonna read this what it says here. It says both sets of titles had to be retrieved in order for the match to end. So what they did, which is very interesting, they had them separated. On one rung, it was the Raw Tag Team Champions. On the second rung, it was the SmackDown Tag Team titles. And they did it. They actually split up the Tag Team Championships. It was the Awesome Truth taking on A-Town Down Under, which is Austin Theory, Grayson Waller. The Judgment Day, who going to this match was the reigning Tag Team Champions, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, who came out looking epic, by the way. Damian Priest's gear was awesome. DIY, who came out as DX, going in. They were playing it more into that, which I thought was pretty funny. Johnny Gargano came out with the Shawn Michaels hat, which I thought was fucking hilarious. The New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. We saw Big E on the show today during the kickoff. Big E's looking fly. I wish nothing but the best for Big E. I hope to God he comes back soon. If he doesn't, I'm perfectly fine. As long as he's happy, I'm happy. And Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, the British Strong Style, because I'm not calling him the New Catch Republic, because that's a shitty ass name. For a ladder match, it was crazy. It's a ladder match. What do you expect here? I'm not gonna spend much time here, so we get to setting the ladders up here. So Gargano delivers the Sweet Jam music to Damian Priest as Truth and Miz hold Priest in place because all that stuff. Ciampa follows up with the pedigree because they are doing the whole DX thing. DIY and Awesome Truth both climb up ladders to receive once out of titles each. Waller and Theory see them send them crashing to the floor. Waller retrieves the SmackDown Tag Team Championships and hands the other one to Austin Theory. And Theory and Waller become your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. The match does not end, though, because they keep going here. New Catch Republic, they was British Strong Style, sending Waller crashing through a ladder to the outside while holding the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which is still funny. DIY pulled out 3 tables from underneath the ring as Truth and Miz did the same. Kingston delivers a Trouble in Paradise to Gargano. Ciampa then sets Ciampa up on a ladder. Woods ascends to the top rope, delivers an elbow drop to Ciampa, I guess through the ladder. Woods and Kingston climb up the ladder. Kingston delivers a trust fall to everyone outside as Woods climbs up the ladder to retrieve the Raw Tag titles. Theory climbs up to try to pulls them off then tries to attempt to take the tag titles. Didn't go very well. British Strong Style pulls him down, delivers a burning hammer. It's basically a burning. It's an assisted burning hammer here. Gargano delivers the DDT to Pete Dunne off the ring apron to one of the tables that was set up on the outside. Ciampa ascends to the top rope. Ascends to the top of the ladder with Tyler Bate on the shoulders. Delivers an air raid crash to Bate off the ladder, which was gnarly, by the way. Truth finds him back inside the ring here. JD McDonough, who comes out of nowhere, he doesn't last very long here. Delivers the double inside, which I don't. Okay, helps Balor into the ring, ascends to the top rope, but they didn't last long. He did an extra flip when he was thrown off the ladder here. Priest tries to land a South of Heaven's version off the ladder, but that didn't go very well here. Priest gets obviously precipitate Razor's Edge onto Kofi Kingston. Sorry if I sound. It's been a long day. Sorry if I sound tired. Sets up, all that stuff here. Priest tips, not Priest. Truth tips Priest off the ladder, sending his shoulder crashing onto the outside here, and Awesome Truth then grab the Raw Tag Team titles, and they are your new Raw Tag Team champions. So now we have 2 sets of Tag Team champions. It's now time to fucking get actual new Tag Team titles. Hopefully that is something that's going to be revealed on Monday, because apparently new titles have been designed, but we'll see if they actually get used or not. That's another thing. Cody Rhodes did say if he wins tomorrow night at WrestleMania Night 2, he will change the design of the WWE Championship. And he will be calling it the WWE Championship because that's what he said. So, yeah. First match, by the way, I give it a good solid 4. Take that back. I give it a solid 3.5, almost a 4-star match. Same thing in here. I give this 3.5. There's that. Escobar and Dominic Mysterio taking on Rey Mysterio and Andrade El Idolo. This was supposed to be Dragon Lee versus Rey Mysterio being a tag team, but I didn't think any of that made fucking sense to begin with. So Dragon Lee was quote unquote taken out on SmackDown last night, and Andrade, who quote unquote joined Legado, turned on Legado to then join up with Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio accepted Andrade's help, and this did not sit well with old Carlito, who obviously attacks Dragon Lee, but let's be real, it should have been Andrade and Rey Mysterio in the tag team from the start here. Match was all right. It was just nice to see Andrade on the show. That's what I'm saying here. So I'm just gonna go. So they did the NXT spot where Walking Wild or Cruz del Toro did the springboard launching thing, which would look pretty cool, I guess there. But Selena Vega did a moonsault onto Electra Lopez, but I believe somebody had to help her out because she almost missed somebody here. So there's that. Dominic Mysterio grabs a chair from underneath the ring here. The 2 masked men. So apparently 2 masked men came out here. I didn't know who the fuck these guys were. I thought we were having a debut or something happening here. Somewhat let down there, but they stopped Dominic from using the chair. Escobar and Dominic gets hit with 619, and then Andrade delivers a final cut to Dominic, and Ray hits the frog splash on Escobar to get the win here. After the match, we find out it's Philadelphia Eagles players Jason Kellis and Lane Johnson. I don't watch football, so I don't know who the fuck these people are, but they are important to Philadelphia. Apparently, they are former Super Bowl champions. So there's that. Well, there's that. This match, I give it a solid 2.5. 2.5 there. It was all right. Nothing to write home about there. Match that was fucking terrible. Let's talk about the worst match on the entire show. That being Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso. My God. This match had no heat. And I'm not talking about no heat at all. This feud. I'm so bored. I'm so sleepy talking about even want to talk about the match. This feud died a slow, painful death when they separated these two from two different shows. They didn't try to build upon this match while they were off on 2 different shows until Sami Zayn, until Jey Uso challenged Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Why is it that Rey Mysterio and Dominic was able to still build upon their match for WrestleMania last year while being on two different shows? Maybe it's because, well, every once in a while Dominic would show up, but also on Raw, Dominic would keep throwing jabs at Rey Mysterio, and Rey would respond on SmackDown, basically saying he wouldn't want to fight him. None of that was going on from SummerSlam all the way to the Intercontinental Championship match with Jey Uso and Gunther. Like, sure, we had the one post SmackDown stuff with Jey and Jimmy, but that's about it. No interaction at all, right? Outside of the one appearance they made on SmackDown as Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes were the tag team champions. But again, there was no interaction there. Right? I don't even know. I don't even remember if Jimmy cost Jey the tag team titles. I don't even remember. I'm sorry if I'm yawning because this match is boring. This match is so bad. Let's be real. The bell sounds and you got basically super kick matches. There was for 11 minutes there was 15 super kicks for this entire match, right? And splashes and Samoan drops. How is it that the Young Bucks, who I have an issue with right now, who had a one-on-one match on Dynamite a few years ago, that was one of the best matches of the year. That not top whatever, but it was a very, very good match, right? How is it they were able to, and they did the same shit, pile drivers and fucking super kicks galore, but it was still entertaining to watch. This match was just fucking boring. And it was over in fucking 11 minutes. This had no fucking beef at all. Oh my God, this is boring. Dear God, this is so boring. I never want to see this match again. Ever again. Triple H, if you really are in the business of making people happy, your fans happy, and listening to the audience, never book this match again. I don't give a fuck if the story calls for a rematch. Don't book it. Unless you plan on giving this match a stipulation, even then, it's going to be bad. Think about this for also. If you go back to, because I did my year in awards last year, right? Even though the worst match of the year was handed to was unfortunately handed to Bray Wyatt and LA Knight, the other match on that list there was a lot of other matches on that list too, but the other one was Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso from SummerSlam. It was fucking boring and terrible. How is it that 2 years in a row that Jey Uso is part of the worst match of the year? This may end up winning worst match of the year. I need to still add Billy Gunn versus Jay White to that list there because that match was fucking boring. I didn't even do Dynamite on Wednesday because that show just pissed me off. This match pissed me off. Oh my God, this is so. I'm just glad it's over with. I'm glad this match is over with, but we're probably going to see these two tomorrow night anyway. So, but I'm sorry. I just know I'm going to move on. Another match that kind of was enraging me, and it was just not very good, was Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi versus Damage Control. Damage Control had probably one of my favorite entrances of the show, next to The Rock, because The Rock actually had a pretty good entrance too. They came out with the geishas stuff, and Asuka had her kind of look going on. and Kyrie had this insane hairdo going on, which was beautiful as hell. And Dakota Kai looked great and all that stuff. So as much as I love Kyrie and as much as I love Asuka, and I'm glad that they were able to get a WrestleMania match on the show. But you mean to tell me that, and you guys know I'm not the biggest Bianca Belair fan, right? I cannot stand her gimmick. She's a great wrestler, but I just can't stand her fucking gimmick. Her babyface gimmick is fucking terrible to me, right? But anyway, you mean to tell me we passed up a potential Bianca versus Tiffany Stratton WrestleMania caliber match for somebody who does not need to be in the ring right now? Because Jade Cargill, as great as she looks, right? You can look as impressive as you want. What happens, this is a professional wrestling business. We are in the professional wrestling business, not movies, right? You can look as impressive as you want, right? You can look as great as you want. What matters the most to people who watch the show weekly and are in tune with what happens in the ring, what happens from bell to bell should also be as impressive. Doing 4 moves in this match, because that's all she did in this match was 4 moves, which is exactly the amount of moves she hit in the Royal Rumble, right? This was not needed. I'm sorry, Jade Cargill, as impressive as she looks, right, is still not ready to be in the ring on television. I'm sorry. This is exactly why everyone, including me, Solid Monster, people with fucking brains, said she needs to go to NXT. This right here is what I'm talking about being petty with AEW. This is the one of the things I do not like when it comes to the pettiness side of things. I guarantee you, Jade Cargill was only brought to the main roster to spite Tony Khan. She's clearly still not ready. She's not, I don't even think she's that good on the microphone either. She still needs to work on that too. But this was not very good either. I leave it to Bianca, Naomi, and Damage CTRL have to carry this match, by the way. Kyrie had to... this poor woman almost fucking just broke Kyrie's back, first of all. From doing a terrible fucking backbreaker. Right? She did 4 moves. She did a fucking backbreaker, I forgot what the other move was. She did a Michinoku driver, and then she did a Jade finisher. I don't even remember what the other move was. It was so bad. It was so bad. I get it. You wanted to have her have a WrestleMania moment, but you could have still. I would have rather preferred Bianca versus Tiffany Stratton over this. Who would you have? You know, you could have just done fucking Kyrie and Asuka versus the fucking spooky witch ladies. You were doing something there. You did the whole thing. Like, they never went back to that. Where the fuck was that went to? They did that whole thing on that SmackDown show, which, by the way, that whole thing with Damage CTRL and whoever the fuck it was, Big Shin and Bianca, and I think was Charlotte in that too. Might have been before Charlotte got hurt. I don't remember what the other one was. Anyway, it was the. Anyways, it was that holiday hardcore match, right? What was it? Where the fuck was it? And they did the whole thing with the spooky ladies, the unholy union with Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Why the fuck couldn't you just do Alba Fire and Isla Dawn versus the Kabuki Warriors on the show, right? And then you could have gave Naomi a match with Dakota Kai or something. And then Bianca. Jade realistically was not ready to be on WrestleMania. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just how I feel in this very moment right now. This is why she should have went to NXT, right? Look at Tiffany Stratton. If they had signed Tiffany Stratton and immediately posted her to the fucking main roster, I would have said the same shit about Tiffany Stratton. But they didn't. You know why? Because Tiffany Stratton went down to NXT, was signed. She didn't know anything about fucking wrestling, and she's gotten very, very good. And you can't see it right now, but I'm looking at a phone, even though there's no camera here. I don't know why. You can't see it. This is all audio. But my point is, my point. Giulia is the same thing, right? Giulia, who is already fantastic at what she does, right? She's going to NXT not to learn. She already knows how to do the professional wrestling. She doesn't even need to do. She doesn't have to really learn anything that regards professional wrestling or the way she or how to carry herself, right? She's just got to learn how to adjust to TV cameras. She's got to learn what Nakamura had to learn, and Asuka had to learn, and Io and Kairi, right? All four of those three, right? All four of those people. Io, Kairi, Asuka, and Io. Or Io, Kairi, Asuka, and Nakamura. They only had to learn where the cameras were and change up a little bit of their styles, right? So that was it. Nakamura signed with NXT, had that amazing match with Sami Zayn, and was not even in NXT for a year. He got called up the very next year, after the following WrestleMania. Why? Because he basically got everything else down. You could have done that with Jade Cargill. Tiffany Stratton. When did Tiffany Stratton sign with WWE? Let's look. 2021. Tiffany Stratton signed with WWE in 2021. Right. I was only there for 4 years. She was there for 4 years because she had to learn. And she got very, very good. And I became a fan of hers with her feud with Becky Lynch. You know, maybe Jade Cargill might need Becky. Who knows? Becky apparently brings out the best out of everybody. So, but yeah, this was fucking terrible. The Damage CTRL, he deserved a better match. I don't even care that they lost. Okay, because I knew they weren't going to win anyway. They deserved a better match than that. That's just how I felt. Bianca could have done the stuff with Tiffany. Naomi could have wrestled Dakota Kai on the show, and Damage and Kabuki Warriors could have wrestled the Unholy Union of Isla Dawn and Alpha Fire. You know, that's what I would have done. And there's a draft coming up that has been confirmed by Triple H. I don't give a shit who gets drafted where, as long as Bianca and Damage CTRL are drafted on two different fucking shows. This is another thing I want to be over with in this new era of WWE. The end of Bianca versus Damage CTRL. Permanently. This shit has been going on for 4 years now. Nope. Actually, nope. Correct. Nope. 3 years since SummerSlam of 2022. Time to fucking move on. My little rant there. Damage CTRL lost because, of course, they were going to. There's no doubt about that. 2 stars. By the way, the Jimmy Uso match? 0. I'm giving that 0 stars. 0. 0 stars. -5 stars. I'm not giving that. And I give this one 2. So, I can't believe I said that about a match featuring Kairi Sane, Asuka, and Dakota Kai. Especially Io and Kairi. Not Io. Io, I think it's gonna have a better. Io and Bayley are gonna put on a really good match tomorrow. At least I hope so. I'm worried, but I really hope they have a 4-star match. Like Bayley can put on that type of match. Io, I know, can put on a fucking clinic with a damn broomstick. So here we go. My favorite match on the entire show: Gunther and Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. I told you guys the moment this match was being teased that Sami Zayn was winning the Intercontinental Championship. WWE told you. As I take a sip of my water, because my mouth is getting dry here. WWE told you straight to your face within your ears while watching the program that A, the match was going to be Sami Zayn versus Gunther. B, Sami Zayn was winning the championship based on how they were booking him. And C, Chad Gable was not getting the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. And D, and C, E, whatever I'm at here, Chad Gable was not turning on Sami Zayn in this match here. So, another thing that gave this away was how Sami Zayn walked to the ring. Sami had a chat with his wife and son, then had a chat with Chad Gable, and Chad said, I'm not going to the ring with you tonight. You have this. This is you don't need me tonight. Runs into Kevin Owens and tells him to go get Gunther. By the way, this is the first real WrestleMania without Vince McMahon, and this is the first actual WrestleMania without Kevin Dunn. And it showed with Kevin Dunn because the production on the show was fantastic. Lee Fitting, by the way, because they did it with this here, right? Lee Fitting is a phenomenal hire for WWE. I'm so happy they hired this dude because he is so much better than Kevin Dunn. I don't have to watch the fucking 700 damn camera cuts for one fucking continuous shot, right? And stuff like that, right? Even the way they do the title introductions now, which is great. They have you focus on it was like a movie, Marvel movie, which looked great. But this was phenomenal here. Oh my God, how do I describe this here? So Gunther lands a pair of uppercuts on Sami Zayn, delivers a clothesline in the corner. Gunther at one point was able to hit the Powerbomb Symphony, gets a 2, which shocked a lot of people out here. Near the end of the match here, I'm gonna skip court. Here, Sami was able to hit the Hoover kick the first time. Gunther was able to kick out here. Gunther eventually started hitting a pair of two power bombs. Sami kicks out. Gunther sees Zayn's wife in the crowd, start taunting her, saying Sami is a failure or whatever it was he says. Gunther connects with a power bomb, and he keeps going on with a power bomb here. Doesn't go for the pin at all. I'm like, this is, and when they started doing this, I'm like, Sami's winning the championship. He did a splash for the top rope, still didn't go for the cover here. Sami started getting up here. Gunther goes to the top rope, haluva kick while Gunther's on the top rope. Sami delivers a fucking brainbuster, which I haven't seen a brainbuster in WWE in a good long while. And I love how Michael Cole called it. He called it like if it was a Japanese, as if it was a New Japan match. The Brain Buster, which I thought was, which popped me as a New Japan fan. and delivers a fucking hula hoop kick. And I love that he collapsed onto Gunther and gets the 1, 2, 3, ending Gunther's historic 666 day, which is a weird ass, it's a weird number to end it on. If it was up to me, I would switch the Intercontinental US title matches around just so it's not a weird ass number. But anyway, anywho, but now Sami Zayn is now the Intercontinental Champion. The finish reminded me a little bit of, and I responded to somebody's tweet about the finish, and I said it reminded me of the finish to the UK match with John Cena and Shawn Michaels, where Michaels got out of the. It was either he got out of the AA or he didn't hit it. Anyway, Shawn Michaels hit the super kick and just collapsed right onto Cena and got the 3. That's what that finish reminded me of, and I thought was phenomenal stuff here. That was my favorite match tonight. This gets a 4.5 star rating out of me. It goes on the match of the year. Gunther and Sami Zayn, great stuff. I knew they were going to have a great match. It's Gunther and Sami Zayn. Come on now. So Sami Zayn 2 years in a row makes history. He ends the historic reign of the Usos in the main event last year, and ends the historic reign of Gunther. What's next with Gunther? Who knows? They might go into the World Championship picture. We'll see what's next for Gunther. What's next for Sami Zayn? We'll see. They may tease something with him and Chad Gable on Raw. We'll have to see about that. But yeah, 4.5 star match. Best match of the night, in my opinion, here. Then we got the main event here. The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. If Roman and Rock win, it's Bloodline Rules. If Cody and Rollins wins, it's a clean, straightforward wrestling match between Cody and Roman on night 2. The Bloodline Rules thing is for night 2, by the way. So I'm not going to spare you a lot of the details here. Rock had a phenomenal entrance, by the way. I would have been disappointed if The Rock had a shitty entrance at WrestleMania. But The Rock, I was, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word I'm looking for, and I'm trying to think about it because it had to do with The Rock and him being, I was skeptical. That's the word I'm looking for. I was skeptical of how The Rock would have done going 45 minutes, because I believe that was the rumored time. If I can, let me look that up here. Let's see if we can find it here. I believe that may have been the running. Yeah, but they were supposed to go 45 minutes. I don't know who the producers are. I don't think the producers have been. Oh no, the producers is here. Who has produced this match? Yeah, so the producers of this match was Michael Hayes and Bobby Roode. Okay, so there's that. Anyway, just out of curiosity, I want to see who produced. Jason Jordan should be ashamed of himself for producing that fucking Usos match. Anyway, so I was skeptical of how The Rock's cardio was going to be going 45 minutes, but he did great for what it was here. The match started to pick up a little bit more during the 25-minute mark here. The Rock didn't take an actual bump until like 25 minutes into the match. Like he did, the lockups and all that stuff, and then they were brawling in the crowd and whatnot. But The Rock didn't take an actual bump until like halfway through the match, where Rollins hit Rock with an enziguri, and then he decided to take a bump. At one point in this match here, The Rock got hit with a spear, right, by Roman Reigns, and I'm like, that's gonna play a part in tomorrow's match, isn't it? Because it might, we don't know. The Rock hit a rock bottom on Cody at one point, goes for the people's elbow, And Cody Rhodes hit probably the greatest counter I've ever seen to the Rock Bottom. Rock goes off the ropes. Cody pops up and hits a fucking Cody cutter on the Rock. Rock sold the shit out of it, and the spear, by the way. And it was great. I've never seen. I popped for that cutter, that reversal. I had never seen somebody reverse the Rock's people's elbow in that manner. In my opinion, that was a better reversal than what Cena did for, or not Cena, what The Rock did for Cena's version of the people's elbow. But you know, I did laugh at one point in the match. The Rock was telling the referee, "If you count me out, I'm gonna fucking fire you, dumbass," or whatever it was. It was funny. I'm on the board or whatever. It was pretty funny though. But they did bring out the Mama Rhodes belt that Cody got his ass whooped with a few weeks ago on Raw, with that had Cody's blood on it. There was no blood tonight. There may be blood tomorrow though. They're gonna save that for night 2. He smacked the shit out of Cody with that fucking belt. So Cody, there was all a lot of stuff here. Rollins was probably the best near fall here. Was a double pedigree on Rock and Roman from Cody and Seth. They both pinned them both. They both kicked out. Crowd started finally getting into it. The crowd was half. I really do personally, because I do think the crowd was into the ladder match. I think the Usos match killed the vibe of the crowd. In my opinion, they were lively for Becky and Rhea. They were somewhat lively for the ladder match, because ladder matches always get the crowd going. But just that Usos match killed the fucking crowd. Nobody gave a shit after Jay's entrance. No one cared about the rest of the match. I mean, they make noise for when, you know, Jay would start punching and start pressing yeet, but that was about it. They cared less about the rest of the match. But back to this match here, you know, Cody was able to hit the crossroads on Rock. Rock was able to kick out at one point, but Roman hit near the end of the match here. Rollins is just dead at this point, right? Because Cody hit Rock with the rock bottom through off the Spanish announce table. Thank God the Spanish announce table survived the first night of WrestleMania. Don't know about the second night, because it did not. The Spanish announce table did not survive WrestleMania, not WrestleMania, NXT, because Ilya Dragunov decided to kill the Spanish announce table. But where was I going with that? Oh, and so off the Spanish announce table through the main announce table goes The Rock with a rock bottom by Cody Rhodes. Seth gets blindsided with a spear that damn near tore him in half, and we didn't see Seth Rollins sort of for the remainder of the match here, but then near the end of the match, spear to Cody following a Superman punch, and then then Rock hits a rock bottom, hits the people's elbow for the 3, and now tomorrow night the numbers are stacked against the deck is stacked against Cody Rhodes. Bloodline Rules. It's over for Roman Reigns tomorrow night, and I'm just saying it's over for you guys. It's time to accept that Roman Reigns' 4-year reign of holding this title hostage is finally coming to an end. We're going to see a lot of shenanigans tomorrow, because Rock had said during the press conference that, you know, post press conference, or whatever you want to call it, that we're going to have fucking things go crazy. A lot of surprises, which means only 2 people I want to see show up tomorrow night. John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm having the vision in my head that now Jimmy's going to come down to try things. Jey Uso is going to come down to get rid of Jimmy. Solo's going to get involved. Cena's going to come in, they eliminate Solo, And that leaves The Rock trying to get involved here, and then glass shatters, massive pop from the Philly crowd. Out comes Stone Cold Steve Austin to whatever theme he's going to come up with, stuns The Rock. Rock's going to oversell it, which is going to be great. Cody hits three crossroads on Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to have a new WWE heavyweight champion in Cody Rhodes. It's going to be great. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. This main event, I give this a 4-star match. I'm not going to give it 4 out of 5. That 4.5 because the 4.5 goes to the Gunther Sami Zayn match. But yeah, night one again was a fine show. Outside of the Usos match and the 6-woman tag match, the rest of the show was fine with me. Maybe not the 6-man, not maybe the other tag match though. But yeah, overall I give the show good. I give it a 4. No, actually, nope. Take that. I give it 3.5. I take it back. I give it a 4. A good 4. Basically because of the Intercontinental title match, the main event, and the opening match. So there's that. Tomorrow night's card, we don't know the actual lineup for tomorrow night, like the actual match order, but we do know that tomorrow night, Seth Rollins will defend the World Championship against Drew McIntyre. That's going to have CM Punk on commentary. We're going to have the Final Testament taking on Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits in a Philadelphia street fight. LA Knight and AJ Styles, that's going to be taking place. The United States Championship, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. Io Shirai, Io Sky defending her women's championship against Bayley. And then the main event, Bloodline Rules, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. But I will see you guys back here for night 2 of WrestleMania. If any more news about Giulia breaks, I will talk about that on Sunday on the night 2 review of WrestleMania. Hopefully, I'm not coming on here tomorrow angry that they didn't pull the trigger on Cody Rhodes, but it doesn't look like they're going to not piss me off or anybody else off, because the guy in the chair is Triple H, not Vince McMahon. So there's that. Until then, I've been Matt the Misfit. We're out.